guys, it's us again.
Hey.
Okay, so this is week 2.
Yep, week 2.
Okay, so this is week 2, and wow, we packed it in this week. We started out, we were still in Sturbridge, Massachusetts,
Yep.
and we went to the Plymouth Museum at Plymouth Rock, the Rock, and there actually is a legitimate rock, which I did not know about. We went to the museum, and that was fun. It was kind of interactive. You could go to a couple different places, and then they would have villagers and people you could talk to in a little place set up.
Yeah, it kind of took you back in time. It was really kind of strange because the people were in character and they did not break. And you had to approach them like you were in their time and ask them questions.
I don't know if it was character or just lazy. The one lady we walked in, and she was in one of the Wampanoag Indian huts. And then she just looked at us and she goes, "If you want to know something, just ask me." And I'm like, I don't even know what to ask. So I said, well, tell us about it. And so she finally told us a little bit, but it wasn't as family friendly, but it was fun. It was still fun. And then afterwards we went and ate lobster. Well, Jason ate lobster. And the other kids got salmon and a bunch of fish because it's better than eating fish on the coast. So that was really good. And then we woke up and we came to New York. We drove into New York. And that was crazy.
Yeah, hauling a travel trailer down through New York and in New Jersey was insane.
And people usually talk about, in New York, oh, we don't want to drive in traffic in New York. I'm talking about getting to New York.
Don't just sit there, fancy pants. Grab the wheel.
Are you kidding? I don't drive. I'm a New Yorker.
So we finally get down to our location. We stayed in New Jersey on this. We were right by the Statue of Liberty Park. So it was a really great
location. And I know what
location.
you're thinking about New Jersey. Sketchy.
It stinks. You're on the Jersey side of this cesspool.
It was really nice. It was a really good area. So
yeah, we really liked it. It was just basic, though. It's like a parking lot.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of space for us to stay.
Super nice people.
Really nice people. But I felt really bad. It was pouring rain. And so it was crazy to drive in anyway. But as soon as we got in there, I see this other couple checking in ahead of me. And I just started talking to them. I said, "Hey, did you guys have trouble getting here? All the crazy routes?" And they're like, "Yeah, we actually lost our air conditioner." So they had gone doin a route and the bridges were too low. And they passed a couple and they were just fine. Then all of a sudden their air conditioner got knocked off. And it was just pouring rain in on top of them. And we were actually parked right by them. We tried to help them out as best we could, but eventually they had to go to the hardware store and kind of do some makeshift patches. But
so I'm glad we didn't take those roads, but it made me feel bad for them.
I know.
Really nice people, though. New York, boy, we went as much as we could. First of all, it was gale force winds.
Yeah.
So our first day, the first night we got there, it just poured rain and was windy, and there was a flood warning. The kids were a little nervous. And then the next day we went to the Statue of Liberty, and we actually got to go up on the pedestal. So it was this big trek up, but I kid you not, the kids were leaning into the wind because it was blowing so hard. I was a little nervous about going up there, but thankfully it's kind of narrow around it. And so we went up there and had a great time. This is my highlight, I think. There's a junior ranger program that you go to the national parks and you can become a junior ranger and then get badges. And so Brooke and Jack and Kate were all eligible. It has to be 5 and up. And so they went around and did all of these things for the Statue of Liberty. And then they got sworn in as junior rangers. They got badges. They got,
so they got badge. An official certificate. They get a little badge. And it's just kind of a really cool program to get the kids involved in the national parks. And
we took the ferry over. That was good. And then we went into New York. So then we decided to get tickets to Broadway for the kids. And you have to buy tickets for everyone, including Tommy. So Tommy, Jason, and Jack went to
Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief.
And then me and the girls went to Frozen. And it was incredible.
Yeah, we liked it too. Apparently you're supposed to be 4 to go to these plays, but Tommy had such a cute little smile that the usher let him in, and he did fantastic. there was one part like right at the end where he was getting a little tired, but I just stood up in the back with him and he was perfect.
And the girls, I thought, oh, I don't know if maybe this is like pearls before swine kind of thing, but they did so great. Kenzie was at the edge of her seat. All the songs were really fun. They recognized it from the movie. It was just magical. And you know how big those productions are. It was in the huge theater and they loved it. So it made it really worthwhile.
Yeah.
Then we were a little nervous to take the subway back, so we Ubered it back. And then we decided to stay another day so we could hit a few more things. So we went to Central Park the next day, Times Square.
Times Square. Just kind of some of the...
Oh, we did go to the World Trade Center, and we kind of explained what happened there with the kids. I was a little somber.
Yeah.
And then we decided to leave the next day. So as we're leaving Times Square, Jack goes, well, can we go across the Brooklyn Bridge and get pizza? And it's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm thinking, no. So the next morning, we decide to drive in to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And we're in Jersey, so we have to take the Holland Tunnel into New York or into Manhattan, and then take the Brooklyn Bridge across. And Jason and I knew of this bagel shop that was really good, so I thought, well, let's just go get some bagels. So as we're driving, Jason tells me that he does not have his wallet.
Yeah, I left my wallet in the trailer. And
so
like what cash did I have?
didn't bring my wallet, and so do you want to hold it?
Yeah.
So I'm kind of panicking because I think, okay, well, toll booth, it's going to be maybe a couple bucks. No, the Holland toll to go into the bridge is $15 for a car to go into Manhattan. So now we're stressing out. We're in this line. We can't get out. We have to pay $15 out of the $50 that I found in the car just laying around. Because we usually try to keep a little bit of spare. So then we get in there, we're thinking, okay, we have $35. How much is it going to cost to go across the Brooklyn Bridge? So I'm researching it on the phone. No other tolls, thankfully. Brooklyn's free to go into Brooklyn, out of Brooklyn, and then even back over the Holland Tunnel is still free.
Yeah.
You just going into Manhattan is $15. So we lucked out there. So we made it. We had some bagels, and that was fun. And then we took off.
Yep, and we drove to Hershey, Pennsylvania. That was our next stop.
And Hershey was amazing. We went to the Hershey factory that night.
Yeah.
Got in there at 4, and we did these 4 different exhibits, and we'll go through those. But there was a create your own candy bar. There was a 4D movie. There was a tour of the factory, a trolley tour, and then like a taste experience.
Yeah.
So the kids, to start out with, the 4D movie was fun. It rains things. It's interactive, so we put it, that was Jack's birthday tomorrow, and so as the 3 little mascots, which is Hershey Kiss, the Reese's, and then the Hershey bar, they're like the little mascots. They're talking to Jack, and they're saying Jack's name in the movie, so it's very interactive.
Yeah.
So Jack thought that was pretty cool. We solved a little candy bar thief
mystery,
and then they give you all a thing of chocolate. We went on a tour that ends up being a ride.
Yeah, it reminds us of like a Disneyland ride.
Yeah.
And it kind of goes through the whole factory process. It just kind of shows you how the chocolate bars are made and process it goes through. And it's really, really cool. And then at the end, they give you a free chocolate bar. So.
Yep. The trolley tour we should have done earlier because it was in the dark by that point.
They take you through the town of Hershey and tell you kind of about the history and some of the
and it's really fascinating.
People. It's really cool, but we're looking out the windows and everything's dark.
Yeah. She's like, so the left, you can see the Hershey lampposts, and we're looking, and the kids are like, can't see anything. And then to your right, you have the Hershey this and that, and we're like,
Yeah.
So we got a Hershey's chocolate on every little stop we made too. But Milton Hershey was pretty amazing. The Kit Kat's named after his wife Kitty, and they couldn't have children, so they started a school for kids that didn't have parents, like homeless. And he always hoped that some of those kids that graduated would run his factories, and 12 of them, I believe, ended up being presidents of different divisions of his company. So really quite a cool guy. He was the first one to package,
make a chocolate bar, like an actual
to be able
chocolate
to
bar.
send it out. And so he did some pretty cool things. That was really interesting. Making the candy bar was by far my favorite.
Yeah.
So we got to put on hairnets and little aprons, and then we go in and you have this computer, and you choose if you want white chocolate or milk chocolate, and you choose it, and then you choose what you want in it. If you want like toffee bits or crispy crunchies or pretzels, and then you can choose up to 3. And then if you want sprinkles on the top or not. So then you finish it off and you go to the line, and it shows it as it's making it. So it ends up with this bar that's kind of got a little lip on it, and it goes down the line and it adds all the stuff in. And then it's just like the Krispy Kreme where it drizzles the glaze, except it drizzles chocolate. And then it cools it, and then it packages it. And then while it's doing that, you go and create your label. And that's really fun. So everybody got different labels. You could do custom labels or ones that were already done for you. So that was fun.
Yeah.
And then the taste testing, they give you a cool tin that's your taste testing kit.
Yeah. And
you go in and learn about smelling the chocolate. So it was really funny because as we got started, he said, okay, nobody open up your tins. And then we opened them up, and he said, try one, and we tried it. And then he told us about the senses of tasting it and feeling it and smelling it and savoring it and all this stuff, and put it on your tongue and let it melt. And then he looks at Kenzie and he's like, oh, I can tell that you have no self-control over there, or something cute. It was kind of funny. But it was fun to see the kids actually try to hold out, not eating it as fast as they could. So, but there was a really cute part in the movie. A lady was there asking, because they got to wear their Halloween costumes.
Yeah, we got to go trick-or-treating at Hershey
At
World.
Hershey, which is pretty cool.
That was pretty fun.
But they were asking, okay, so what's your superpower? What's your superpower? And you thought Kenzie's was really cute.
So Kenzie was really cute. She asked Kenzie what her superpower was, and she goes, I love my little brother, Tommy. And she looks
really
over
good.
at Tommy, and Tommy just gets this huge grin on his face.
Oh, yeah.
And they just have a special little bond, and I call them partners in crime, but they are fun together. They
really do. Oh, I forgot to tell you, when we were back, we got to say this before, when we were back in Plymouth, we met up with our friends, the Snows, that we were friends with in Farmington. Jack and their little boy Miles were friends, and so we went up to a pumpkin patch and had a good time there with them. But I think my favorite part was when Jason goes to drop us off, they mistake our van for a school bus.
Yeah, I drive up to the pumpkin patch, and they have like the parking lot where all the cars are, and they wave me to a different spot, and they're like, bus parking is over there. And I go over and I'm like, okay. And so I go park by like all these school buses, and so that was pretty funny. And
some of them really did have buses that were about our size. They just had like preschool bus on the top.
Like preschool bus.
I could see why they got confused. And then today we went to church, and I just have to say this because it was awesome. They were talking about a woman that had joined the church and had converted and ended up to go live in Idaho, and she, I don't know, was doing well. And the guy said, and I quote, but you don't have to live in Idaho to go to the celestial kingdom. That's debatable. I think Idaho's pretty awesome. So anyway, I thought that was funny. They brought up Idaho. I think everywhere we go, somebody knows somebody from Idaho. So that was kind of fun. And then there's been some sweet moments. We've kind of settled into life now, which has been great. But some tender moments, I thought a lot of people comment on how much they love watching Tommy grab Jason's ear. We hear that all the time. Oh, he's so cute. Look how he holds on to him. And that's really fun. And then the other night, Jack and Kate, Jack asked Kate if he wanted her, or if she wanted him to read to her while she fell asleep. So they were up reading at night in their bunk. So there's just been some really fun moments. Today at church, Brooke leaned over and gave Jack a big huge hug and just said, you're the best brother in the whole world. And it's fun to see those things, because sometimes when they're at school all day, they don't see each other as much, and it's kind of busy afterwards. So it's been really fun to see some of these tender moments throughout the day that sometimes we don't ever get to see, or that never happen because they're not together. Either way. But so far, everything's still going well. Yeah, it's going pretty good. No huge mishaps yet. Tomorrow we're headed into DC. We'll probably go to Lancaster and Gettysburg. in the morning, and then by evening we'll be probably in DC. So that will start our next adventure at DC. So stay tuned.
All right. See
We
ya.
love you guys. Miss you.